CorporateMOM, AI Copiloting ABC of SYS governance. SYS is Subject Object Self-Governance Standards. ABC is AI application for auditing, banking, certified corporate governance. RFP.
Copyright CorporateMOM, Corporate Management Orbiter Mission.
Hello friends, another exciting report from CorporateMOM. The topic is, that is today's topic, everywhere. AI co-piloting ABC of SYS governance. SYS is subject object self-governance. Co-piloting is a word used by Rishi Sunak during his interview with Elon Musk recently. This is about AI. It's about AI application for ABC, that is auditing, banking and corporate governance being certified. That is the ABC of SYS. Let me quote here the four main types of AI as defined by Aaron Hintze, researcher and professor of integrative biology at Michigan State University. The four main types of artificial intelligence that he mentions: number one, reactive machines. Reactive machines are AI systems that have no memory and are task specific, meaning that an input always delivers that same output. Sounds almost like a computer. Number two, limited memory. The next type of AI in its evolution is limited memory. As a continuation of number two, as a limited memory, it talks of theory of mind, and number four, self-awareness. Let me come to number two, which is limited memory. Limited memory, in my opinion, is the most difficult stage, giving a limited memory of its own, as what I call as the HACCP of AI, Z analysis and critical control points. It is dangerous to give a robot to do what you want to do with a limited memory and sends it over possibly to Mars, maybe okay, but allowing it to run around here in the planet Earth, it will be a very difficult competition between human mind and the AI mind. So as on today, we have reactive machines which are used in from automobile companies, manufacturing, and what they call the computer-aided manufacturing. The use of computer system to plan, manage, and control the operations of a manufacturing plant through either direct or indirect computer interface with the plant's production resources. That is the reactive machines. It is there everywhere. It has been there from I learned the autocoder language from IBM in which year, 1967 or 68, when the first computer came to India or in the world. So the reactive machines are already there. There's nothing more specific as to the AI than what the current computer management availability and capability which is used on a day-to-day life of a corporate manager is available for everybody, and it has gone to various aspects of banking. It has gone to everything is available today, the digital world. It is not necessarily AI. So the concept of AI coming in and revolutionizing the entire corporate world or the government world is already available. It is AI is nothing beyond what exactly is going to do something different than what it, talking about the chat GPT and talking about what it can do, pulling out what Google has been doing all these years, plus adding certain images and other things which you can create to the original and whatnot, and so many things and so forth. All are there. Nothing extraordinary as far as AI is concerned until you give the limited memory. The limited memory is of no consequence as on today, and it won't be made available for a public this thing for the future, maybe in the lab, but not definitely not in the operations as far as the publics are concerned. So that is one. When you talk of theory of mind and self-awareness, here I would like to talk about that. It is critical for the purpose of what we have been going through. Only in the last week we saw that the FTX guy, his name is Frey, being fired, and billions of dollars are being done. That is the objective of this particular talk for me, is how the AI, Copiloting, ABC, that is auditing, banking and corporate governance, and how it can be measured, how it can be certified, how the subject object self-governance can be brought into focus, now how the theory of mind is going to be important, and how the self-awareness is being important. That is the ultimate stage, which is possible for a human mind, which is not going to be purely theoretical and experimental as far as the AI is concerned, the robots are concerned. We have already something like a theory of mind. Mind is there, human mind is available, and we have not done anything on that. Before doing something for AI and what AI can do, what we are trying to get is that AI is a co-piloting. Co-piloting is the right word. You sit there next. I will drive the vehicle. I will drive the plane. I am in charge, not you. So that is what it does. That is a human mind. So we are going to discuss that in relation to auditing, in relation to banking, and relation to the corporate governance, applicable to every company. Please listen to me. Thank you. AI application for auditing, banking, and C for corporate governance, certified. When you say corporate governance, it goes by the third law of Newton's third law. If there is a policy, you will be able to find out that is the rule is being set. When the rule is being established and how men and women perform according to the rules, then corporate governance can be measured. Otherwise, it's not possible. In the ABC of SOS governance, AI application for auditing, let me take elaborately of auditing. They are the most important in my opinion. Who are the only one who looks into the ethical responsibility of companies, organizations. So if we cover the auditing, we have covered B and C. Let me quote from my book, an extract from CorporateMOM, preface. Restricting ourselves to corporate history, I found the floodgates of freedom of enterprise that had been opened without a modicum of controls. Let me quote a few points from my book. Corporate citizenship and sustainability, measuring intangible, fiscal and ethical assets. In chapter 3, intangible assets, I say, conference proposal paper says, in fact, it is not clear that the so-called gap standard is even particularly meaningful anymore. Companies continue to search for beneficial ways in which to disclose information about themselves with or without formal sanction. That is one. I also continue with that on intangible assets. Nakamura estimated the value of US gross investments in intangibles in 2000 to be at least 1 trillion annually. More recently, It was a paper in 2010 by Corrado and Holton, which who estimated that in 2007, by omitting investments in intangibles, $4.1 trillion was excluded from published national accounts data in the United States. It is important when 4.1 trillion had been excluded, and that was in 2007, and in 2008 we have seen the major financial fiasco. So there is a relevant, and the relevance is in terms of what they try to do on the intangible aspects of IAS 38. Then I come to it on IAS 9, research and development costs was replaced by IAS 38 intangible assets in 1998. But a exposure draft came in 1995, the same year ING buying up Bering PLC for a nominal amount of $1.6. You can buy a bank for $1.6. Amazing. After one individual, Nick Leeson, barely 28, brought down the bank with reckless gambling and speculation in the Tokyo Stock Exchange. He lost about $1.3 billion, making the 220-year-old bank insolvent. Number 3, IAS 38 should have brought in more controls, but big accounting firms in 2008 happily said the accounting firms that commented upon the consultation paper review of the OECD instruments on combating bribery of foreign public officials, international business transactions, 10 years after the adoption. There was a paper wherein they said there are 4 big firms who participated. It is management's responsibility, with the oversight of those charged with governance, to ensure that the entity's operations are conducted in accordance with the laws and regulations. Those guys, CEOs and managing directors. The responsibility for the prevention and detection of non-compliance rests with the management. Thank you very much. So that was what they concluded, the big 4 firms, and the beneficial ways that management gained and the auditors lost. So in 1998, when IAS 38 had come, intangible assets, it was the only one which only one accounting standard where the title word intangible had never been defined. Even today it is not defined. So I will go through that one by one, and what are the consequences of adopting that particular IAS 98, and in relation to what we are discussing here, the auditing aspect of it. Let me continue with what I have derived from my first book on auditors, what I call as a GRACE. G for governance, R for responsibility, A for authority, C for credibility, and E for enablement. That was what was before IAS 38 intangible assets, and then comparing with what it is now after IAS 38, GRACE 1 and GRACE 2. Governance. IAS 9, the instrument by which governance could be administered by the audit profession, stood up to the pressure. It was a commendable role IASC played over the years. The balance sheet had come to be relied upon as the most reliable record of activities transacted by individual companies globally. That's what I derived. In fact, I can put that intangible assets in chapter 3. You can possibly download it. I'll give the QR code somewhere in this video. Because it's in detail, especially draft and how it has gone, what is intangible, what are the problems that they had, and all that is very particular for us to know. So that was there in the governance part of it, what it was. and what was the background in terms of some of the company. IAS 9 was not good enough, so they wanted something different, but it was there, so I have a look at it separately. What happened after IAS 38 had come into the picture? Governance. The audit profession lost its control over governance aspects. The accounting standard on account of IAS 38 intangible assets being published without the key word intangible being defined. It's very important that we talk of intangible, we talk of ecosystem, and both my books define everything very clearly. And for those who are interested, what is intangible? Now, how this has been misused or being misused even today, and how it could be rectified by analyzing the both the books. The first book is Theory of Management. The second book, that is CorporateMOM, is the practice of management. The same thing, which is how it is being applied. Have a look at it. I'm giving the second book part of it at the end of the video. Now, responsibility. Setting a precedent for taking responsibility, audit firm Pitt Morwick Mitchell undertook the responsibility of clearing their name by appointing Arthur Young for the peer review of their auditing practices. It was a very good one which was being done at that point of time, how it is being conducted with various problems from companies which had been bribing big people all over the world. Now, Grace 2, that is after IAS 38, the big four firms shirked their responsibility and meekly told the OECD that it was management's responsibility, the blame for oversight belonging to those charged with governance. The usual dictum the auditor relies on to say, "We are a watchdog, not a bloodhound," is highly questionable. For the demands for scrutiny of corporate affairs have gone much beyond mere auditor books of accounts. The duties of the watchdog need to be thoroughly analyzed on account of the rapid change effected by the multivarious functions of management that are qualitative. So that is one great important point, is the qualitative elements of management which are not being measured. It has to be measured. So auditors have to look into it. Then authority. Industry was made aware that they had no other recourse than to get the approval from professional accounting bodies through published accounting standards for any inclusion or change of balance sheet items. This meant that the journal entry at the corporate level needed prior approval from the accounting governing body. Governance was at its best. The industry is looking for approval for capitalization of R&D costs, be it aerospace, pharmaceuticals, automobile hardware, were all for the end product that was a tangible item. Accounting firms armed with IAS 9 would have no difficulty in verifying the product as well as the cost related to the R&D capitalization. IAS 9 had emerged after due diligence. That was Grace 1 before IAS 38 emerged. When it emerged, IAS 38, intangible assets, authority of the auditors. From 1988, the industry tried to rule over the balance sheet that the audit profession lost its hold on account of IAS 38. In 2007, this led to the omitting of investments in intangibles, and $4.1 trillion was excluded from published national accounts data in the United States. The audit profession had become irrelevant. To be frank with you, it is very important that IAS 38 has been scrapped. I keep on telling even now, because auditors have no say in what exactly is happening to these so-called intangible assets, which brought a major problem in 2008, which is repeated in SVB today, which is repeated again by the FTX guy, Frey, the bankman Frey, $30 billion. It has happened in Madoff. It has happened in, of course, Leeson came much before that. But we have no we have no hold on the companies because everything is valuation. And you do the valuation at $300 million and go to your VC and get it sanctioned. You don't have to create a proper FinDD. You don't have to bother about what is the future projections. You don't have to bother about the vendor DD created by big audit firms. And then you collect the $300 million and LP gives to the VC gives to the investor company, and the squandering money has happened. It is happening. If the auditors of the companies do not bother about these things, where are we? What is the authority that you have? That is what I am trying to bring it up. Credibility. Other Young, another major audit firm, had gained the trust of society to audit the practice of another major firm. Society was naturally agitated over the several scandals that erupted during that period, forcing an FCPA to emerge. I'm also concluding E for enablement, enable balance sheet. It was at this time that the balance sheet emerged as an enabled instrument. You had the authority and which you had well used, and the auditors had been really looked upon as a person to whom company with you can trust. So that was there at that time. What happened to credibility? In 1977, Pete Mawick Mitchell took on responsibility and called upon another major firm, Other Young, to conduct a peer review. Today, it has become the story of he that is without sin among you, let him first cast a stone. There is no audit firm without a blemish. The audit profession after IAS 38 has lost its credibility, as it now allows management to decide on journal entries. What has happened, the end product? The erosion of balance sheet. There was no hole in the balance sheet in 1977. By 1998, creditors have been normalized, excluding 4.1 trillion from the published national accounts. Data in the United States is creditor enough. The audit profession has lost its identity. So it is very important that I keep on telling, if the auditors have to survive, the two things which are quite important is that this grace, the governance aspect of it has to be looked into by the auditors and of the investee company or the company itself. Then you have the responsibility. You cannot shirk the responsibility. As management can do anything that they want. I mean, it is unacceptable to me as a chartered accountant. Then authority, you had an authority. You can fall back upon the AFRS or IASC or that sort of a thing. Today, there is a problem in my opinion because the governance aspect of it is not being done. That's why I have come out with the SOS governance, which is subject-object self-governance standards. These standards are a must. It is not coming. That IFRS is not coming with it. It's all only the object governance every company is looking at. So the subject and self-governance aspect of it are not being propped up, which I have defined and brought it. So the auditors, if they have to survive, they have to fall back upon the some central authorities, and which is IFRS as on today. But it is looking only in the finance. Finance is not the only one. You have the corporate governance, you have the risk management, you have the accounting quality, you have the management quality. These are the qualitative elements of management which affect, which are the raw materials for your earnings. And the earnings, if it has to be looked into, we got to look at it. This is what has happened in the various aspects of what we are discussing today. And the fried $30 billion gone. I mean, you don't have an authority. And I saw one of the guys as the auditor part of it from United States. Please look into it. I mean, we don't need big audit firms in every aspect of mismanagement of the companies. You have to take the responsibility. That's my opinion, suggestion, and recommendation, which I shall give following this. Let me complete this exercise with my recommendation is focused on auditors. Number one, IAS 38 must be scrapped since the damage continues even now in 2023. Bring back IAS 9 research and development costs. It closes your balance sheet. The IAS 38 had given a lot of gap which are being misused by all and sundry. You have 2008, you have 2023. So it is in the interest of the auditors to see that IAS 38 is scrapped. Maybe this valuation business which they go for, VCs and LPs and whatnot, it is not the auditor's headache. How it has to be valued. How it has to be valued beyond one's senses. That is not the auditor's business. If it is, I'm giving my as far as governance, I'm giving a FAC report, I'm giving how it could be valued. This is purely on performance. When you do the valuation for a company, there are two things. One is the fiscal assets, another is the ethical assets. Now, fiscal assets are the one, all those buildings and other things and the machineries of the company that will stay with the company forever. Whereas what makes the difference for a company are the ethical assets. Ethical assets are the ethical way of doing. There is the ethical and co-responsibility factors being conducted, how men and women conduct themselves in an organization. That are the ethical assets. That does not belong to the company. That belong to the individuals. The guy who is doing very well and goes out to another company, the ethical assets of what he had created goes with him. So ethical assets the one that makes a difference for a company's valuation, not the fiscal assets. You have a depreciation and things and all that. Donald Trump is struggling with his fiscal assets in New York. Not the case with ethical assets. And the ethical assets are the ones which is good. When Narayana Murthy says 70 hours a week, the ethical assets that he has created, wherever he is, wherever he talks about it, is going to be listened to. That is the ethical assets. So when you say the ethical assets of the company, please remember, it is the individuals. When you say the valuation of the company, the valuation of the ethical assets. So when you do the analytics in terms of your strategy plan 2030 for companies who are going to the VCs or LPs for funding, when they give their 5-year plan or 10-year plan, whatever it is, what are the ethical assets they are going to locate and how they are going to be performed. My book gives an entire analytics of Volkswagen, fiscal and as well as the ethical assets. So have a look at it. So when we talk of the reason why I say IAS 38 must be scrapped, it is mainly because of this factor. Ethical assets are being misused by the owners or the CEO, the board of directors, as though it belongs to the company. It does not belong to the company. If the individuals leave, you lose that. So retention of those ethical assets is the number one important aspect of CEO. You've got to have that. So that's why I'm recommending the IAS 38 must be scrapped. That's why I'm asking the chartered accountant firms, the audit firms, to make note of it. Today we are struggling with Byju's. We are talking about $6 billion have been given. What are the ethical assets? We are talking about the Bharat Pay. So many other, there was another company called Zilinco, I suppose. It's about nearly $500 million had been given and squandered. Where are the auditors? I mean, the startups being given some sort of a big amount is not being controlled, and advisory does not come from the auditors. The auditors are the only trusted group of individuals based on which the funding must be given, whether it is a bank or the venture capitalists. It's very, very important. So for the auditors, I'm advising take steps to remove IAS 38 from the books from the standards. We don't need it. And bring back IAS 9 research and development costs. That will be, your balance sheet will be compact. Number 2, recommendation. Companies must change their organization structure from the current flat one to a dynamic 3-dimensional structure, enabling corporate management based on science. I am giving a small note on that as soon as this particular is over. Third, drop annual budget and replace with strategy plan 2030. Annual budget which we are doing, ERP, is very limited. It's only object governance. It does not include, there are 200 process blocks. Only 12 are quantitative. Balance 188 are qualitative elements of management. So when you do the strategy plan, and those are the ethical assets. 188 are your ethical assets of the company, current company, and 12 are only the fiscal assets. And that is where we look into the AI. I'm coming to that. Form a team of each task, allocating responsibility for each person, qualitative as well as quantitative. Number 5, strategy plan 2030. The tasks are well defined, goals are set, critical factors are arrived at, measured by the performance criteria, enabling the accomplishment of an infinite succession of finite purposes by controlling each goal. AI comes to that. When you look at the fiscal responsibility of a manufacturing company like Volkswagen, it's amazing how they are doing it. They are coming out with an amazing good number of vehicles. It could be Porsche, it could be Volkswagen, it could be other things. But in terms of number, in terms of supply chain management, in terms of qualitative elements being put through, and that requires AI. Okay, yeah. DT by DT series of tasks in the respective series of time. Number 6, recommendation. Convert CAGR to CDGR daily and CARR to, that is, to CDRR daily. You have fixed 2030. You play an ODI game, cricket, where you chase the target. That is, different tasks, like, if you look at the shipping management, shipping construction, it may take about 4 years or 10 years or that sort of a thing. You may look into the engine part of it, which may get fixed in about 3 years from now, but you may have to give 2 years ahead of time for buying and placing an order and getting the engine. Is going to take a long time. So when we are looking at the same thing with every other aspect of corporate management strategy plan 2030. Today we have 2030. Why I've selected is because of the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. The completion of the scope 2 requirements, scope 1 requirement are enormous in CO2. So that's why I'm suggesting K for 2030. A company which is going for various aspects, upstream and as well as the downstream and center VR, and that is the 2030 part of it. We got to do the series of tasks. What we have targeted in 2030, we should be in a position to plan, and this is the DT by DT, the task in respective series of time. It may come out tomorrow, it may come after 3 years, it may come after 4 years. But the job that has to be done has to be incorporated in the strategy plan 2030, and then like an ODA, whether on a daily basis, you put that on a CAGR being brought to CDGR. Some of the unnecessary things which you have to remove it, CARR, the reduction rate, CDRR, daily rate. That is number 6. Number 7, convert n-dimensional tasks to n tasks of 1 dimension. Is the energy force. When you look at the matter and energy, matter is infinite. That is the infinite succession of finite purposes. It keep on rolling around every time. That is n-dimensional. You look at here, look at that, look at here. In supply chain management, all are not the same. Hundreds and hundreds. But it is being given the responsibility to 1 dimension. That is the matter and energy. This is the one which is important, very well analyzed in my book, in terms of quantum physics. Matter and energy is how it is being utilized, and how it can be utilized very easily for the company. Auditors can take note of it. This is number 8 is recommendation AI and HI. For all quantitative elements of management, apply AI, artificial intelligence. That's what he said about the infinite succession of finite purposes. For all qualitative elements of management, apply HI, human intelligence. So AI and HI will go together, but it has a distinct methodology of approach. Number 9. I am giving the FSC report, fiscal, ethical, co-responsibility framework for 1, an investor company. Number 2, banking, Credit Suisse Bank, which I have given. Number 3, manufacturing, the major work, which is on Volkswagen. I have a complete case study available in my book, which will be useful for the auditors to have a look at it, and how a big company like Volkswagen can be brought under grace, governance, responsibility, and authority, and credibility, and enablement. That is the one FEC report must come from every company. Now, prepare SOS governance DD, due diligence, for a company as on now, and complete the exercise as per strategy plan 2030. Number 11, auditing is the only homogeneous unit to verify and certify ethical co-responsibility factors. A successful SOS governance standards for their clients would be in the interest of enhanced global economy. If you have about several clients, several big clients, in those days A.I. Ferguson used to be the good auditors, and they had all the MNCs under their thing. If you have about 10 different MNCs under your belt, and every one of them is in the stars, it will be good for the auditors as such. Number 12, Nick Leeson, Madoff, or Sam Bankman-Fried FTX should be things of the past, but it is the auditor's responsibility to prevent such occurrences. IAS 38, intangible assets, is singularly responsible for the weakening of the accounting profession and shifting Las Vegas to Wall Street. Auditors shall bring grace to the profession again. That is number 12. Number 13, the accounting profession should oversee bank audits, apply SOS governance standards, and prepare an FEC report for the respective banks covering every branch. So would be for any client company. CorporateMOM provides the auditors with everlasting metrics and benchmarks. That everlasting metrics and benchmarks are the ecosystem. What every company has is the ecosystem. The ecosystem has to be narrowed to come to the benchmark, come to the metrics which the ecosystem provides, the nature provides. That is the science which has been brought into CorporateMOM. Auditors may please look into it. Finally, let HI pilot the auditors with AI as a co-pilot, not the other way around, as the auditors are now a reactive machine. Please note it. Okay, please have a look at these FEC reports, SOS report for investor company and all that, and let us collaborate. Thank you. As a first step, change your organization structure. Einstein said the most incomprehensible thing about the universe is that it is comprehensible. Corporate and governments alone do not follow the laws of physics. You have a flat organization structure. Make it dynamic. That's what CorporateMOM stands for. Establishing a connect between the entirety, that is the society. CorporateMOM, sustainability of corporate stability. CorporateMOM is corporate management orbiter mission. Corporate is central pillar of global economy, but collectively the current ecosystem has made it unstable. Make it stable. Mission is to make sure sustainability of corporate stability is ensured. That is the purpose. There is no different opinion among any as to stabilize the corporate management. The key word is sustainability. That is a sustained corporate stability.